I wanted to make a behind the scenes type of video based on After the Rain, where I'll be sharing some details about some of the shots, some of the difficulties, some of the funny parts. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask, and I'll do my best to answer. So this first shot was pretty basic. Tex does a wonderful job of just staying in place when you talk to him, especially if it's our bed. We don't let him on the bed too often, but this was a very easy shot because he does a pretty good job. He likes the bed as well. For the scenes that involved us going back and forth from the hallway, it was pretty comical because, as you can hear,
he's in the shot.
we had to make sure that he was out of the shot. You can still see his shadow. I was very picky about little details like that. And we tried a couple of different ways where it was just me calling him and him running down the hallway. But I thought it would make the story a little stronger if my wife was walking down the hallway with him. We probably made this shot maybe a good 10 or 12 times before I finally figured that, okay, there's got to be something in those 10 or 12 shots that we feel good about. Tex is a very curious dog, and so there was a few times, as you can see, where he bumps into the camera, and so my wife has to call him. He gets very, very excited very easily, but I enjoyed the shot because it really called on me to kind of set the mood. So one of those things was to lower the tripod at his level. I didn't want it to be one of those things where it was from an adult or a grown-up point of view where you're looking down at the dog. In this next scene where he is sitting out, it was very, very challenging because, first of all, he had to be focused on the window. And when we first tried it, it didn't work. He's focused on me and everything that I'm doing. And so what we ended up doing was getting my wife outside in our patio. And so she's out there, she's doing jumping jacks, she's calling out at him. And finally we realized, you know what? We need something pretty drastic. And we ended up getting his ball because his favorite thing in the world is his ball. And if you can tell, it's not actually raining out. What I had to do was handle this in post-production, where I did some technical things, some effects, and basically got the rain to show just in that part of the shot. In this shot, it was very straightforward where he's laying down with his toys. This is what I was talking about that he does really well in the previous video of how I came up with the idea for this short film. He just kind of gets all his toys together, he wears himself out, and he just lays there and he just kind of looks at you, and he has such an expressive face. I thought this shot was really, really important for the flow of the film. Now, in this next scene, this probably presented the most challenging part of the short film because he is such a dynamic dog. He gets really excited really, really easily. And he listens to me a lot more than he listens to my wife. He's really my dog. We chose him because of me. I wanted a border collie specifically, and when I first got him, we went out of our way to really spend time with training him. And he's not perfect, but you know, we're getting there. It's a work in progress. One of my favorite things about my dog is that most nights when we lay down to bed, he always comes and tells me good night. Now obviously he's not speaking to me, but he'll just come to my side of bed, wait until I'm completely tucked in and settled, and he'll just lay his head on the side of my bed, just waiting for me to pet him so that we can say good night. Now he does this with me. He doesn't do this as often with my wife, and that's why it was such a challenge to get this shot, because he was so easily excited. And as you can tell in these kind of outtake shots, he keeps going back and forth. He's jumping up and down. I'm trying to tell my wife, hey, try using this hand or that hand. I'm behind the shot, obviously, with the camera, and there's a couple of times where the text is just kind of focused on me, trying to wonder and figure out what exactly is going on in the background. So this is one of those that really kind of challenged me technically to figure out where was the best placement for the camera. A few things that were in the way. I had to get the pillow out of the way. I didn't want to show too much of my wife's face, and so that also played a big role. We probably spent a good 45 minutes, maybe an hour, just trying to go back and forth and trying to get the perfect shot, and I really didn't feel very confident. I just knew that we had taken a good amount of recording time, and when I sat down, I said, you know what, worst case scenario, we'll just go ahead and reshoot this specific scene. This is one of my favorite scenes and sequences in the short film because I'm tossing the ball at him, and I'm so excited about what he's doing that I'm trying not to say anything or make any noises. And I just think, wow, I have the perfect shot. He just gets up and goes, and I completely missed our cat photobombing the scene. And I didn't notice it again until I was already in the editing phase, and I just didn't know that I could duplicate that shot. And this is where I had to be very flexible and say, hey, you know what? It's a short film. This isn't going to win any Oscars. I feel very good about the final product. I am going to have to be okay with the cat just photobombing. And I could have edited that in post-production, but again, I just figured, you know what? I'm not going to put this to win any major awards. I just enjoyed how it flowed, so it stayed. This next few shots just kind of illustrates what goes on in the background when you try to make a film. You can see kind of Tex being excited. My wife is outside. He's trying to check out the camera. At this point, we're really, really working hard. We were probably on this a good 30 minutes just trying to figure out how exactly we can get him to focus his attention not on me or the camera and him being close to me, but rather my wife being outside on our patio trying to get his attention. And a few times you can hear me, I have to go in and kind of remind him, hey, lay down, because I wanted to create that kind of sad posture. And lucky for me, what ended up happening was just in letting the natural progression of the shot flow, he just kind of did it perfectly, and I think it worked out really for the best. I think it really kind of expressed his excitement for being outside, because first he's laying on the floor and then he just kind of loses it and decides to stand up and kind of start playing around, and I think it worked really well. Here you can see the final sequence of the short film, and this was very straightforward for us. You can kind of see the footage. It looks very different than the final product. That's really a result of the post-production process, where you can go in and manipulate the way the colors look and hopefully the way the film makes the audience feel. It was a very cloudy day. Like I had mentioned before, it's been raining here for what seems to feel like forever. But I felt really good. We had a crack in the rain, and we figured, hey, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and go out and see what we can do. And it worked out to our advantage, I feel like, because in the shots, you can tell that it's been raining because he's got mud everywhere. We actually had to bathe him, I think, 3 times that day, just because we kept going out. We kept seeing breaks in the rain. A little sunshine would kind of poke through here and there. But I think it worked out for our advantage. And this is another one where I had to be a little bit flexible with the post-production, because there was cars in the background, and I could have eliminated that, but I said, hey, you know what? I really just want to leave this as untouched as I feel comfortable. Maybe in the future I'll go back and edit that, but so far I feel good about that. I hope you found this helpful about what goes into making a short film, what happens in the background. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll share what I know. Thank you.